welcome. It says checking. It says meeting is now streaming, and we have one more to record, and we're live. All right. Welcome, welcome. I am Stacy Harder, and this is our Cosmic Conversations with my mother, Dr. Heather Harder. Still saying it's live on YouTube, so welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, thank you for being here with us. This has started live in our, I would say, living room, probably close to 20, 30 years ago, and it has evolved through all the years. And today we are now live on YouTube, live on Instagram through my channel at Stacy, Stacie Harder, as well as live on Zoom. So if you'd like to join us on Zoom, please feel free. Our Zoom is 428-733-218. So that's our Zoom. You can screenshot that if you'd like to join us live, please do.
That was way too fast for a screenshot.
Well, it depends on who your screen is.
Do it.
All right, I will do that again. So that's 428. Okay, if you keep talking, it takes the screen off me. There you go. So that is your screen. If you'd like to join us, welcome, welcome. Today's a little special conversation because it's going to be a follow-up to Many Were Called, Few Were Chosen, the story of Mother Earth and Earth-based volunteers, which she wrote about 30 years ago, and I'll let her talk about it. But if you are new to this book, I also have read it chapter by chapter on my YouTube channel, and it took me almost 30 years to actually read it, and I read it twice last year alone because it's that totally perfect for right now and what we're going through. So that being said, hello, hello. I'd like to welcome you, my mother, Dr. Heather Harder, the author of many books, including this one.
Okay, thank you, Stacy Elizabeth. I also want to give you this incredible offer. It doesn't cost you, oh yeah, it might cost you something. If you've read any of my books, if you go to Amazon and write a review, I will give you a private session just as a thank you for writing a review. And so please consider doing that. Many Were Called is a very special topic for me. And so we're going to talk about it later. We have three agenda items. The first is always asking for protection, guidance, and truth. And it is so important now. I mean, I wish I could somehow visually show you how significant it is. We are being bombarded with all kinds of information, misinformation, designed to intentionally get us off track, along with a zillion other things. When you ask to know truth, it's like you create this screen door within your consciousness that allows all the things that are not truth to be filtered away, like keeping the bugs out of your house. So it's a very important filter that you activate when you ask for that. If you knew how powerful you are, you would know that every time you ask, the universe will rearrange itself in order to comply with your request. So always ask to know truth. And that way, anything that is not truth will not penetrate your consciousness. It's like water off a duck's back. So it's very important. Truth, protection, and guidance. Protection allows us to keep all the cosmic cooties away from us. It allows us to keep all the things that don't serve us away. And oftentimes we invite these distractions and these challenges into our world through sloppy language. When you put your protection up there, at least it helps you somewhat keep them away. And then, of course, the guidance is like having an ongoing GPS system within your heart. And of course, this also means that you have to listen to that inner guidance in order to follow it. But that when you ask for guidance, it's like all of a sudden the angels will go, yay, I can show them what needs to be done, or I can tell them, or whatever. And so then you begin to get those inspirations, those thoughts, those nudges toward where you need to go for your highest and best good. If you don't ask for it, you don't get it. It is a universal law. No one or no thing can interfere with your path unless you've asked for it, unless you've requested, unless you allow it. And so it's very important important that you do recognize the power you have with your thoughts and your words, because when you say something as innocent as, gee, something's bothering me today, or, something's really eating me, that's all the permission that these outside influences have to come in and really take over your world. So you really want to be very careful with your words, very careful with your language. That's a whole nother topic unto itself. But for now, we want to just universally ask for protection, please, guidance, please, like the angels turning on your GPS system, and then truth. Because we don't have time to mess around with things that are not truth. And we get lots of opportunities to hear all kinds of stuff, some that serves us, some that doesn't, some that's truth, some that's pure not truth. So protection, guidance, truth. Agenda item number 1. Agenda item number 2 is that we're light workers. Now that means we have to work the light. We have to play with the light. It's not hard, it's fun, and you always feel better afterwards. But the second segment is we actually go into our consciousness, go into our center, which is our place of power and the source of all of our skills and abilities. And we activate our use of the light in lots of different ways. The exercise that I lead, and every week it's different. So if you go back and listen to some of our past recordings, because Stacy has them on her YouTube channel and her Instagram channel. They're from every week. You can hear the beginning exercise, and they will sound different each week. We'll add things, we take things away, depending on what I'm guided and what the week has brought to us. It's really important because as you play in the light, you're also impacted by the light. And it's another wonderful way for you to raise your own vibration, raise your own abilities, clarities, consciousness. So just enjoy. And how do you do it? Any way you want. There's no wrong way to do it. It's the intention of just playing in the light. Light is the highest vibration that you can handle in this moment. Light, love, God all carry the same vibration. So whether you're sending light and love, or just sending love, or sending God's blessings, it doesn't matter the words you use, because all three carry the same vibration, have the same power. And it is the highest vibration that humanity has at their disposal. We might compare our normal energy to a BB gun, and light and love energy being a cannon or a rocket or something. I don't know a lot of the weapons that are used, but something big, something powerful. It is the highest vibration we can do. At one time, we were thrilled to be able to light a fire and have light, so we could sit around the campfire and tell stories. Then we discovered candles where we could control the light and we could move it from place to place. And then we had kerosene lamps and blah, blah, blah. And then we got into that wonderful discovery through Thomas Edison and others of the electric light. And then with the flip of a switch, we could turn night into day. We could do what we wanted when we wanted. And that was so liberating and so powerful. And then we have continued to understand and facilitate light until we now can condense light, focus light, and create the laser, which we can take mountains to the ground. We can take planes out of the air. We can remove cataracts off an eye with just focused light. So we're only beginning to understand the technology that's involved with light and then be able to use it. But from my heart to yours, I say use the light. And then it can't hurt anybody if you're coming from pure heart, and you change the world in ways that you know a little bit more at the end of tonight. But it's beyond your comprehension, that the ripple that you put into the universe. So with that, go to center. Oh, we're a center, wherever you want to be. It's an imaginary place, wherever you choose it to be. You can make it look like anything. The center is your point of consciousness where you are most connected with your divine team. It is the place where you're most in line with the universe, with all the spiritual supporters that you have and the earth energy. It's where we go to replenish our own soul need for that light and love, and also to connect with the both heavenly and earth energies. For me, I love beaches, so my center looks like a lovely beach. Your center can look like anything you want, or it can be nothing. Some people are visual, some people are auditory, some people are kinetic, and some people's minds are still so in control they can't look like anything or even keep awareness of it. And so feel free, if you don't, if you're one of those people who sort of drops off and to sleep while you do it anyway. The mind can only stop your perception of it. It cannot stop the experience. Even though you may not have a conscious awareness of the experience, you're still participating and you're still altering your physical structure. So with that long introduction, because I never know when there's new people on board, then go to center. And in that center, I want you to imagine just a pillar of light. Your imagination is the most powerful tool of creation that you have. Whatever you have in the physical world has to start in the energetic or etheric world. So just imagine stepping into that pillar of light, and you'll feel just a tiny shift, or just a little calmer, a little bit more serene. It's just an intention, but your intentions really guide your soul journey. So they're very, very important. And when you're in this pillar of light, you're literally bringing in the heavenly energy, sending it to you and through you into the earth, anchoring this divine energy into this earth. And that, my friends, are why you came to the planet. You're here to energetically alter the earth, to move her from a third dimensional density to a fifth dimensional density. And we'll talk about that later. But when you are in center, being the channel for this light, this love, you are doing your divine purpose. And if you're on this call, you can be sure you are a light worker. And then what I would like you to do is just imagine yourself as a light, as that point of consciousness, as that little bubble of light and love, and then just fill it up. Just imagine growing brighter and bolder. So instead of a little ball of light, you're now a big and bold ball of light. As your orb grows and becomes more empowered, you combine with all the others on this call in any form, and just have that collective light become even more empowered, even brighter. And then we're going to ask all those who are here to serve this planet and its people to join us in this light. Feel this light grow even brighter. Whether they are physical, whether they are spiritual, whether they are in any form, we're just going to have them join their light and love. Remember, when two or more gather, it's much more powerful if we do it individually. And then what I would like to do is just imagine taking this collective light and sending it into the earth, filling every cell in, on, and around this planet with light, with love. Every underground structure is just filled with light and love. Every tunnel, every cave, every crevice is filled with light and love. Even the little tunnels built by the worms, fill them with light and love. Every molecule of ground, every atom of sand, every aspect of our physical planet, just fill it with love. We so appreciate her and what she does every day for those of us in residence. Imagine all of her oil reserves being filled with love, all of her water being filled with love. all the miners who work underground. Just fill them and their workplace with love. We have underground battle stations of all kinds. We have underwater stations of all kinds. Just imagine filling them with love. More and more information is coming out, more and more information is accessible, and our job is to love it, not to judge it, but just to love it. And anyone and everyone that is trying to impact Earth in a negative way or control or manipulate her well-being, love them too. Just love them, regardless of their home or disposition or form. Just love them. And then we amplify this light and love and send it out into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is extremely important to the Earth. Much like our skin that protects us, the atmosphere protects the Earth. And there are those who are altering it, changing it, manipulating it. And our job is just to love it. So imagine just having this entire atmosphere vibrate to love. It is why you are here, to love and be loved. And anyone and everyone who is attempting to alter our atmosphere for whatever reason, we want to love them, to bathe them in love, and ask the angels to maintain that love. So everywhere they go and everything they do is a complete path of love. And then the weather patterns are how Earth finds her balance. Just imagine the weather patterns that are present all over the planet and love them. Whether it's weather that we would appreciate or weather that we don't appreciate, our job is just to love it. And when you hear about a storm coming up, love it. It means the Earth is out of balance. She needs that help. Unless it is someone's attempt to manipulate the weather. We now have weather being used as a tool of war, deception, a tool of control and manipulation. Our job is just to love the people who do it. So imagine sending all these beings love and light. When there is a duel between light and dark, dark can't win. It can't. As soon as you shine the light, dark disappears. It loses its power. In the dark, things are scary and fear is easy. But in the light, you're safe. You know what's going on. So our job is to energetically lighten the world. We just send light to every corner of the world, every space, every place where there is manipulation, control, where there is deception, fear. Our job is just to send love. Pollution is the manifestation of the density of an area. We don't need to worry about the pollution. We need to worry about our consciousness and just keep loving those places, because when we do, the pollution will take care of itself. Our job is just to love. Now, when we think about the mass consciousness, the repository of all thoughts, actions, deeds, and consciousness of everyone who's ever been on the planet than ever will be on the planet. We think about that mass. People see it in different ways. I like to see it as this wonderful golden fog that unites us all. We're all in this wonderful vibration that we influence, and in turn, it influences us. The mass consciousness, again, is being manipulated and controlled at this moment in time on the planet, and our job is just to love it and love all those who are attempting to alter the consciousness of humanity. We love them for their foolish attempts. We love them for who they are and what they're teaching us. And we love the collective consciousness, the repository of all humanity's beingness. And so just see yourself moving through, moving with this incredible golden, iridescent, loving energy. And on this planet, we have leaders in all walks of life. We're going to look first at the political leaders, those who have the power to make decisions that impact the quality of our lives. Some are working in the light, and some not so much. But our job is not to judge, it's just to love. So imagine sending love and light to every political leader, not only in this country, but around the world. The local, the state, the regional, and most importantly, the national and international leaders. Just see the light shine, the love flow. Imagine the United Nations building and grounds and fill them with love. Imagine our capital and all of our governmental offices being filled with love, and every other major building around the world. We have religious leaders, again, at all levels, of all kinds of names and distinctions. We have religious leaders that are pretending to be religious or worshiping the dark side. And our job is just to love them, not to judge them, just to love them. They're also being our teachers. And we have lots of beings who are now preparing to become religious leaders, preparing to become the candidates and leaders of the future. So anyone and everyone who has a destiny or who wants a destiny in a leadership position, fill them with love too. Your love is never wasted. And then imagine all the businesses and organizations, both the ones for profit and the ones not for profit. Imagine all the social influencers on the various media channels. Imagine those who own and operate the various media outlets, both in broadcast, in print, online. And we fill them with love and light in their offices and their place of work. Just fill them with love and light. When we fill it with love and light, it is energetically like flipping the light switch. Darkness can't hide. It has to become known. We're not doing it for that reason, but it is a natural outcrop from sending love and light. And you have to be ready to receive information and the truth about what's going on and who's doing what with love, not with judgment, not with hate, not with recrimination, not pointing a finger, but just loving them. And the more you can just openly love and accept anyone and everyone, the more the truth will become out, the more you'll be able to see and appreciate the truth. Right now, we have a lot of people, children, adults, different beings who are in servitude, who are being controlled and manipulated, either physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically. Love them and love those who are their captors. Energetically, truth is found in the love. Love all those who are not able to exercise free will, which is the law of this planet. Love those who are feeling that they have the right to control others. Love them. And all of our animal friends, love them. They're here to assist this planet. And some of them have a very harsh life. So we want to love them. Whether they're in the oceans or the air or in the land. Our job is just to love them. And then I want you to imagine all the light workers on the planet, all of those who've given up their other opportunities to come to this planet from lots and lots of different worlds and serve this planet and its people. Some are more successful, some are more happy, some are more wealthy, but they're all here with the equal status of serving this planet and its people, and send them love as well. And yes, friend, you stand in that line. It's a very proud line, a very honorable line. And just give your gratitude and love to all those in every walk of life, every form, who are here to make a difference, who are here to serve the light. And then if you have people in your world who are suffering of any kind or in fear or struggling with either taking or not taking the shot, just love them. All those who have and all those who haven't, love them. If you have people in your family that you'd like to, in your own consciousness, send this love and light to, feel free to do so. This light and love is here to be used whenever you have a need for it. It doesn't go away. It just keeps growing from week to week. And we give permission to the angels to use this light and love in any way that serves humanity. All of our institutions want to fill with love and light. The prisons, just imagine filling them with light and love, and all those who are in those prisons, either as captors or as guards. The schools, fill them with love and light. Children are having a very difficult time. They too volunteered for this, but it is a very hard walk. So love them. Be grateful they've come. And the teachers and the administrators and other people who are in those schools, love them. And if there's anyone or anything else that you can think of, then please send love and light to them as well. And then I'd like you just to imagine what that core virus looks like. And I want you just to love it. Just fill it with love. Every single one around the planet and all the ingredients of that shot, just love them. And all the people who struggle with it, or have families that struggle with it, or are in a state of concern over it, love them as well. It's been a massive teacher. It's been a massive tool to awaken humanity. And our job is to love it, not judge it, not resist it, but to love it. And love the incredible immune system that everybody was given in this, that awakened on this planet. You have the ability to transform, to neutralize anything that invades your body. I want you right now just to celebrate. Imagine just sending love into your immune system and into everybody else's immune system and into your DNA, the blueprint of every aspect of your life and your ability, especially into everyone's number 8 DNA, which awakens you to the truth. It awakens your consciousness. It awakens you to the nature and power of your divinity. Just love it. Don't manipulate it, just love it. And then we ask, you have the power to ask for yourself that our DNA be restored to its divine state of perfection as it was in the beginning. And then to guide us as we continue this walk on the planet to do what needs to be done in order to execute the divine plan. We are here to make the divine plan manifest on the planet. And we are so grateful to have the honor to do that. And then, as always, open your heart, open your soul, open your body to receive this love and light. You are amazing. And the universal laws on this planet are very clear. Whatever you put out, you must receive. Whatever you send out must come back to you. That's why we don't send out judgments or hate or fear or retaliation or any of those things. We neutralize those in our life and just send love. Because when you send love, then love must return to you. So right now, just sit and receive. Be in that receptive place to let that energy come back to you. Just feel it flood every cell of your body with unconditional love, unconditional light. Let your mind be marinated in this joyous energy. Let truth become obvious in your world. Let that love and light strengthen your heart, both physically and spiritually, so that your heart can once again be very clear in helping you recognize truth. Take a deep breath and anchor this energy, releasing anything and everything that doesn't serve you. Again, 3 deep breaths to anchor this energy, and then when you're done, just be open to receive whatever messages that are right for you. You may hear them, you will see them, you may feel them. It doesn't matter how they come, you'll recognize them. And if you're ready and willing, just allow your guiding principle to show himself, herself, itself to you. Just imagine the force that's been assigned to you and only you to guide you through this experience. This is a very, very challenging experience. Of course, your life is challenging. Of course, it has its ups and downs because that's the nature of this planet. And you signed up for it. But so did your helper guide. He or she or it has agreed to be with you 100% of the time whenever you need it. You just have to ask for it. Feel the love. Feel the connection. And then come back to the here and now. And just when you're ready, just stretch your toes and just stretch your fingers and do whatever feels right just to come back into the body. Just be back to the here and now and notice how much calmer you feel. Notice how much more at peace you feel. This is the peace that passes understanding. It is the state that you can be in 24/7 when you allow yourself not to be distracted by many of the conditions on earth right now. This is the place of your greatest power. If you have questions you want to ask that part of you that knows, then please feel free to do that. And if you have a paper and pencil, feel free to write down any questions or awarenesses that you had during this experience, because it's happening in consciousness. Consciousness is not the same thing as your mental mind, so you won't remember it as well. It's like a dream. It'll fade. So it's best to write it down as soon as you come back to the here and now. And the longer you can carry this energy, the better for you. Don't let the challenges of life or the program on TV take you into some gnarly place. Just stay in your serenity. So easy breezy. Hi, Nina.
Hello.
When I open my eyes, it's like a new person is here. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions or comments, or are there anything online that Stacy you want to share? I do recommend that you always have lots of water around you, because water carries that energy for you. It helps you carry a higher vibration. So drinking lots of water will also help facilitate the energy. Here's to all of you. Anything, Stacy? You're muted. You're muted.
I did mute myself. I said there's a few new people, so welcome. Blossoming out to you of control or something, I think. Blossoming out of control. And Neil.
I don't get that.
It's their name on Instagram. I think
okay.
it feels like Jennifer wanted to say something, because I feel like she had some reactions, and then I'm gonna let her.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, it feels like each time we do it, it's been getting a lot deeper lately, and I really am just.
Well, it's because people are familiar to it, so they're surrendering and opening more. I can feel that people are expanding more as they move into the experience, because they know what's happening, and yeah, it is getting more powerful each week. I love it. I love it. Jennifer, do you have something you want to say, since Stacy said you did?
I was just typing it in as she said that.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we're all more connected. It's just always so beautiful to be in this space, and I love how you said that the longer we can stay in it. I'm really gonna try. I'm gonna say I'll be more
Not try.
aware.
You're going to do it.
I'm
You're
going.
making a commitment to hold the energy longer. Try has been a word that's been intentionally introduced into our lexicon to keep us out of our power. You can't try to do something. Either you do it or you don't do it. Try means failure. If I try to pick up a pen, it means that I can't pick up the pen. My brain interprets that as not being able to do that. I either will pick up the pen or I won't pick up the pen. If I try to pick a pen up, it means failure. So eliminate the word try. The only time it's correct if it's used past time, past tense, and failure. So, but it's always being slipped in the wrong place. And you don't want to program your brain for failure. We want to succeed. And so, Jennifer, would you do your cheer now for us? We've got groups now singing her cheer with a Bostonian accent. It's so fun. And those who know the cheer can do it with her. So go ahead.
I'm going to keep doing this.
I know. It's great.
It was from my cheerleading when I was like 9 years old. So it's, we got it together, baby, do we ever? We got it together, baby, do we ever?
So write it down and give your own pep talk. Oftentimes it's the language you do in our head that causes so much destruction. So stay positive, stay powerful, and we got this together. Stacy Elizabeth.
Nima from YouTube said it was like an unexpected prayer session. Thanks, Dr. Heather. God bless.
My pleasure. Thank you. I was given that the basic structure of that experience back in 92. And I put it in pretty much every book I've written because it's so powerful. When we're doing it, I wish you could see the ripple that's going out and around the planet. It really is making a huge difference. I do it by myself, but it's so much more powerful when I do it with groups. And please feel free to take it and make it your own and do it whenever you're with others because it is so incredibly powerful. I went dark. You said, Stacy, you said I went dark.
Your light must have, it looks like it shut off from our end.
Oh, the sun went down. So it went.
Oh, that's the sun. Okay. That's why you're
Okay.
going through, then it's the bright light. Yeah, that's much better. I can see you again.
I'll turn on the light. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Going once?
And just so you
Going
know, if you
twice?
are new on Zoom, you are welcome to join us on Zoom. And if you are, you can unmute yourself. You can write a comment in the comment book or the comment section, or you can ask a comment, or you can raise your hand. So it's very active. We like participation and we like questions. If you're joining us on YouTube or if you're joining us on Zoom, or I'm sorry, Instagram, then again, I can ask questions as well. So welcome.
Okay. We're going to give you space to raise your hand or ask a question or comment, because this really is meant to be an overall cheerleading for your life. As Stacy said, I started doing this with weekly meetings in my living room back in the early 90s, and then we evolved into doing it by the telephone on the hub process, and we had people from all over. And then as technology has evolved, we're now on Zoom. And so, but we may change platforms because in this changing era, lots of things are shutting down and changing and altering and limiting and editing. And so you always want to have 2 or 3 different platforms available because you never know when one is going to become unstable. We are living in a time where there is a lot of resistances to the light. And so even though nothing I'm saying or doing would be considered controversial, there's still the potential is there. And that's why we always ask for protection. Okay. My nose is
Just want to
itching
say
like crazy.
hi.
Hi. I know we don't see your face. But I'm glad that you're here, Lindsay. Anything you want to
I will
add?
show my face in a little while. I had just jumped out
Oh.
of the shower and I jumped on to be with you guys, and I wasn't quite
Oh.
camera ready. But
Okay. Well, Jennifer will often be eating her dinner or doing different things, so that's fine. You can either way. It's just like I like to see people's lovely faces, but not
yes,
their
for
lovely
sure.
bodies. So when you get out of the shower, again, we run a G-rated group here. So, um, anybody else have anything?
Well,
Because I've got a very intentional. Okay, yes, Nina,
sure. Can you hear me? Yes.
I
Can you hear
can.
me? Okay. I'm just curious. So I just jumped on at the very end because I saw this was in the Laurie Ladd tribe. So I missed what you did. I'm sorry. But
No problem.
I'm wondering if the volunteers if this is related to the stuff that Dolores Cannon talked about. You know about Dolores
Dolores
Cannon,
Cannon was a friend of mine, and I actually have never listened to what she said about. I know she calls them the volunteers,
right? She
and in
talked
my
about
book, I talk about the Earth-based volunteers. So I don't know exactly what she said about them, so I can't agree or not agree. You can decide for yourself as we move on. But
okay.
basically, there's lots of beings who've come to the planet, including us, in order to make a difference, a positive difference. And so, regardless by the name they go with, they're here for purpose, not just to live a life. We don't need that. We've been through all that. We're here because our goal is to change it, and that's actually the whole topic for tonight. So you may find it interesting. Um, but yeah, it's based on the Many Were Called, Few Were Chosen, which is a book design. I remembered the story. I didn't create it. I didn't channel it. I remembered the story of one of how we were called, and we answered that call, and we came to this earth. Oh my gosh! I've got a
What?
candle burning, and I just shoved a paper into it. I'm really going to be the light when I go up in flames. So you see it? And I just stuck a paper into it. Anyway, so this is the continuation of that story. This week I've been getting lots of new information, and I've had lots of the pieces, and I've shared lots of pieces, but they just sort of came together this week with a whole picture. So with that, I'm going to start talking. I have never told a story before in this way, and so please, enter your questions, your comments. I'm going to do it and it's very hard because when I get downloads, it's like just pieces that come in. And then I have to figure out how to put it in some sort of sequence in order to make sense, because it doesn't come in the way the language works. And as I was saying, Many Were Called was a book that I remembered, and it came in fragments, and then I recorded it. And this is the book, even though I wrote it in 92. And it's now gone through its 5th printing and 3rd edition. It keeps having information added to it, and I've got another edition that's got another 100 pages to it, and now I'll probably have more because this just came in today, or in the last few days.
This book did come over 30 years ago. So if just so you know, it's been around for a while, and it's so perfect for today's time. And if you haven't read it, I do recommend it. And also I read it on my YouTube channel too, chapter by chapter. It's accessible.
Yeah. Yes. And when people write me, there's usually several comments they make. One is, I already knew it all. There was nothing in there that surprised me that I didn't know, because it was encoded in our cells. We all have this information. And as I've said many times, when you get those chills when I'm talking, or when you're talking, it's your soul saying, pay attention. This is important. This is truth for you. So I'm already getting chills. And then the other thing I get is that it made me cry. So the more times you're crying in it, the more it's touching your heart in that remembrance place. And it really was, when I wrote it in 92, the world was a very different place, and I was a university professor. And one of the things that amazed me is how many people read it and wrote and said, "Oh my goodness, it wasn't my imagination." They were going, "Oh, this isn't real." But then when they read this, it was a story, and they couldn't deny it was their story, and it made them more confident to go out and move into their mission, into their purpose, to do their work. And I'm very proud of that. And I've had lots of major light workers who've told me that it really assisted them in having the confidence to go forth and do what they felt the need to do. So Stacy, since you've read this book several times, can you do a quick synopsis of what you think is the most important thing?
Quick synopsis. That's interesting. Okay, so I read it a couple times.
So that if someone is on the call that hasn't read it, just give them a quick synopsis so that we can go from there.
We are beings from all over, different dimensions, different galaxies, different everything. And there was a calling that Mother Earth needed help and assistance, and that she had gone into a lower vibrational state and can no longer sustain herself. So she needed light workers from all ways, all forms, to come to the planet to basically save her and bring the vibration up, that it would not be easy, but she would never be alone in that journey. And through that journey, we all gathered, all dimensionals, again, all beings, different forms, different sizes, and all races and all everything. And in this grand meeting, it was designed to put into groups, into where one person would, or one being would become the human into the form, and the group would be there to assist you during this transition. That being able to experience the human density is very challenging to who we are in our natural being place. And so we were giving a team to be able to do this together. And in that team, we're here today, that the planet was never meant to be in such a dark density, but because it was a free will planet, and unlike anything that's ever been created, that it's all about choice. And so it had to be supported that people would choose negative when they could choose magic. And so because we came to experience the third dimension of duality, it was never intended or expected that people would choose to stay in misery than to stay in love and light. And so through that process, when we have gathered here through our tribe, through each of you joining us, we've all been a part of that mission. And so we're here to bring back the higher love and density. And through that, it also teaches us how to kind of to master our truth, and letting go of judgment, letting go of fear, letting go of criticism or comparison, the lower vibrational states, and choosing to go into the higher vibrational states, that we actually are shifting this entire planet.
Okay, that's good. That's a great synopsis. Thank you very much. I'm too close to it. I couldn't even do that. You've done that beautifully. A few other people have read parts or all of it. Anybody want to add anything? I can see that. I can feel it. Anybody else want to add anything about the book? Because what we're going to do is build on that today.
I'm loving it. I think I'm on starting chapter 6 today, but I'm starting to understand more of like what we're going through now.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what it was designed to give you confidence, to give you courage, and to help you understand the bigger picture of what we're going through. Again, if any of you want to add anything, this is very informal. If you're writing anything online, Stacy will jump in and share your comments, your questions. Because this is the first time I've ever told a story this way, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to come out. And there may be more to the story to come. Stacy, you've got yourself, you look like a mummy. Are you going to say something, or? Okay.
It's not saying it, just some of the comments too, just like amazing. We felt that. It just, to me, it's like for so many years you feel alone, or you feel like this doesn't make sense. And so for me, it's just that soul's like, it makes sense. And I do have memories of, I think you call it the conclave, or the great meeting of all. I remember here at the following. So it's just, it's It's a very near and dear subject. And so for me, like when these moments when we get to connect and it's like connecting with your tribe, it's a gift. And so that's the one thing I do really, truly appreciate about technology and the apps, that even though they're designed to kind of lower us, they also, because we're light beings here to serve, it also can be a gift in bringing us in ways and together. So I'm
Oh,
just
one of the in the Bible somewhere it says that what the devil makes in darkness, God uses in the light or something like that. So no matter what comes up, there's a way of using it for the divine purpose. And the cover, I was given the cover before anything else. And because again, if you've ever talked or heard anybody write about how they remember like past traumas, it comes back in fragments with all the emotions and all the sensations. And I literally sat at the computer for 8 days sobbing as I wrote this into the computer. I'm sure my family thought I was crazy, but that wasn't terribly unusual for me. So nobody said anything. But this image of the earth, this is what we saw when we first were coming into the earth. We came and explored it before we actually were born into it. And this was our first image of the earth planet. And just looking at this picture will awaken some of your own cellular memories. So I'm glad, Anna, you're reading the.
We have one quick comment from it's all caps. I love that book. It has helped me in unimaginable ways. The prayers to our angels have pulled me out of some extremely dark places. Love, love, love it. Thank you.
And I have had people who've said that they read the book every year to remind them, because it's so life affirming when we're living in a world that doesn't make sense. And for the person who said that, if you write that to Amazon, if you write up a Amazon review on any of the books, I will give you a free private session. So please just copy your private session, send to me, and we'll schedule a private session, because I want more people to review the books. And you see on my screen, heatherharder.com. My email is just heather@heatherharder.com. So it's really easy to remember. Through the years, and again, like Stacey said, this book was written in 92, almost 30 years ago. And I've had lots of comments, gone and done lots of workshops, and people are going, well, what's my mission? I want to know my mission. And and it's like, just trust. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. This week, it was like I was started to get snippets and pieces. If you can imagine the puzzle pieces coming in and finally being shown the box lid. And that's what I got this week. And it's nothing new. And yet for me, it was revolutionary. So I'm going to share it the best I can do. Again, ask questions, pay attention. If you get chills or the urge to cry, please let me know. We all came in to serve the planet. We all came in to serve humanity in order to serve the planet. Humanity has free will. If someone wants to do something stupid with their life, that's their right. We just love them. But the earth does not have the same ability to choose free will. She has to experience the collective vibration of those in residence. So we've been assisting humanity to raise their consciousness, raise their vibration, raise their frequency, raise their dimension. They're all just different terms for similar processes in order to assist the planet. The planet was not created to carry the density that she was being inflicted with. So we came in to raise the vibration. Okay, got that. I've been knowing that for long. And I'm going to read this because it was very profound, that we came to engage in the biggest holy war that has ever been fought. We won't be using bullets and bombs and an easily recognized battlefield. Rather, it is being fought today and every day in our living room as we sit in front of the TV, in our cars as we drive, and in the privacy of our bedrooms and boardrooms. We are in the midst of an energetic war, and humanity and Earth's survival depends on its outcome. And it's, I'm going to sort of gather my strength. But the energy of that is so powerful that it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not next month. It's right now. The vibration we carry determines a lot of things. And as I've talked about, evil is not a judgment. It's not an indication of something. It is a statement of fact. When something is designed to go against the divine plan, to go against divine order, that is evil. So if we say the flow of the Nile River is from south to north, okay, that's the natural plan. But a boat can go from north to south. That's going upriver. If we're looking at the divine plan, that would be evil. It's a statement that it's going against the divine plan. So in an energetic sense, we are here to raise the vibration. We're here to bring more light and love and harmony to the planet. We're here to move from third dimension to fifth dimension. Third dimension is separation and individuation based on what we perceive through our five senses. Fifth dimension is the dimension of oneness. We recognize that love vibration, that collective consciousness of the planet is about unity and oneness. So we're here to move from third dimension to fifth dimension. We do that vibrationally. But anyone and anything that is evil is trying to block that, is trying to change the vibration of humanity or the light in order to not let that happen. The reason that's been going on, and we can blame the cabal or the Illuminati and all those other words that we use to describe the bad guys. And I do this because bad guys would be a judgment. We're not going to judge because that lowers vibration, but I don't have any other words for it. But originally, there was a group of reptilians who came to this planet, who have decided, and they've gone to many, many planets around the universe and universes beyond universes in order to colonize it. And so when the reptilians came here, they in turn started to make it their own. We have Elon Musk now talking about sending stuff into Mars to change the environment to make it more habitable by humans so they can colonize Mars. You know, we would think, who the hell is he to change the atmosphere of Mars? Who's he to change Mars? But that's what he's doing. And that's sort of what the reptilians did to this planet. They want to make it their own. Humans are sort of a pest. We're the interference and food source. We'll come back to that in a second. Again, this isn't a linear story, so I'm doing my best to make it linear because that's the way our language works. Reptilians feed off energy. We grow carrots in order to eat. Well, reptilians use energy to sustain themselves and to grow. And their favorite food source is that chaotic, fear, negative energy. So they do everything they can to get humanity into a very low density energy because that's more filling. And I'm making this simple just because it's easier for me to explain at that level, but it's a bit more complex than that. As I said, when about 10, 15 years ago, I don't do time well, I was told to start removing reptilian influences from people. And I'm thinking, I'm learning about reptilians. I have a PhD, but I didn't take that class in college. I don't know how to remove reptilian influences, but nonetheless, I said, okay, show me how. Let's go to this next thing. And to date, I've probably cleared hundreds, if not thousands of people. It's kind of hard to go to someone and say, can I remove your reptiles? But when I have the opportunity, we play. And I've only had one or two that didn't have any reptilian influence. It was amazing. But they literally leech onto your etheric body, and they do things that cause your life to be chaotic. And so it's as easy as asking the angels to clear it. What do I say? Anything that doesn't serve you. That's sort of a catchphrase that allows all of it to be cleared away, including the reptiles. When I was in Peru, there was some replicas of thousands and thousands of year old mugs, and the mugs had lizards on the handle. So you held the lizard, and they said that was so that they could keep the reptiles in check. And I thought, oh my gosh, they knew about them even then, because I've been given this information. It's like, it just sounds stupid. I don't know how to put it in context. But if you can imagine, and reptiles live a lot longer than humanity. Let's say an average lifespan is 70, 80 years on Earth. And I don't know what it is, and I don't care, but we'll just use a number. Now imagine 4 or 5 times that is the lifespan of a reptile. So they're playing a long game. They're not playing the same game as we have. And because they can shapeshift, and because they can change consciousness, and they can go on and off planet, they have a lot more versatility. They see a much bigger game plan. And so with the reptiles, they have created, and their eventual goal is to harvest humanity. We go out to the Montana ranges and gather up wild horses, and we bring them back, and we make them into playthings, or we make them into glue, or we teach them how to ride people, and so we ride them around. But we use this wild, magnificent creature for our own enjoyment or own effect. We do that all the time with different kinds of animals, and we think nothing of it. Well, the reptiles sort of look at humanity like that. They're harvesting humanity. They're putting humanity to work as a food source and as a worker bees. I had 2 people here helping me today, and I love it. I pay them. They were here for free will. But if you can imagine, if I could cause someone to alter their consciousness so they think they want to be here to help me without paying them, that would be then losing. They would be losing their ability for free will. They would be losing their sovereignty. And that's what the long game plan is for the reptiles and humanity. We're going to come back to that, because that's a whole nother story. But with the reptiles, they need to, because there's a cadre of them, with 3 being in charge, but they can't maintain the planet with just a handful of reptiles. And so what they're doing, and I shouldn't say that, there's actually more, but they shapeshift and they can look like people and whatnot. So they have to recruit. And you remember that circle that I made, the layers of evil. You have the
You face it down.
our layers. A what?
Face it down. There you go.
Okay,
So you can-
our layers of evil. So if this is our core reptilians, and then our next layer then are the we don't even see them. We don't even know them. They're the invisible control agents. These reptiles recruit and train these. And then we go out another layer, and now we have ones that are sort of semi-apparent, like the cabal. What the hell is the cabal? But they're out there, and they're doing negative things to control and manipulate humanity. And then we get out a little further, and then we have the ones that we do see. These are our various power elites. Gates, for instance, he's a power elite. The people who have money, who are making decisions for the planet that really aren't making decisions that's good for the planet. It's good for them. It's their own agenda. And then we have the last round, which are the people all around us. I mean, we've got drug addicts doing all kinds of criminal activities in order to feed their fix. We have all kinds of beings who are, again, causing the earth to lower their vibration rather than raise it. Now we could say, oh, each layer has a different reason, but think about these reptilians in the core. They have now transformed and recruited these various layers. Now, how do they recruit? We hear about it all the time. Do what I want and I'll give you $1 million. Do what I need and I'm going to give you the technology. It's how we have through humanity's greed, they have done lots of things that didn't serve the planet, didn't serve the people. And then we multiply that times a zillion, and we know how these reptilians have gotten their army of worker bees. I can give you power. I can give you, because they also time shift. So they know what the future is. They know what stocks to invest in. You do what I want and I can make you a billionaire. You do what I want and we'll do this. It's why that power elite that gets together and literally talks about, sort of world domination, our world order, our getting rid of currency, because I can control you if we use electronic money. I can't control you if you've got dollars stuck under your mattress. And so there's all kinds of reasons and ways, including mind control. Your thoughts are just vibrations. In workshops, I actually demonstrate this. I can change your thoughts. I can change your body instantly with just my thoughts. So can they times 100. They can do it through temptation. Here, try this little concoction. You'll feel better when you get this buzz. And it happens to be, the juice of some 3-year-old. And then I can take and I can blackmail you. I can, so if I can't bribe you, I can blackmail you. I can kill you. Look at the people who have been speaking the truth and all of a sudden they have this big accident or die for some mysterious reasons. I mean, so we have all these different ways. It isn't always from choice. It can be through contamination. It can be through lots of other reasons why people get sucked into this negative way of life, this lower vibration, this density. And as I've said, that which goes against the flow of life, the evil, however you define that, also is self-extinguishing. You cannot sustain evil. Evil will collapse on itself. So literally, we don't have to do much, and eventually it's gonna do itself in unless it gets recruits. It's why they have to always be in a recruiting mode, bringing new people in, because they feed off that new energy, that new lifeblood. If they don't feed off that lifeblood, they begin to disintegrate. And Jennifer was talking today about some of the things that are happening in that. With that, it's like a candle that will eventually extinguish itself unless you stick paper into it. But it's the way of the universal pattern. So they're creating recruits, they're creating food source, they're creating whatever they need to create for their continuation. Meanwhile, light workers are here then to shift the energy. And if I can make you miserable because you don't have enough money, or I can make you miserable because of some broken relationship, I now have lowered your vibration. Our war, and I don't even like the using it war as analogy, but there's nothing else that I can think of that describes it well. This energetic war that we're engaged in is about holding your own integrity of your energy and literally contaminating their food source. If dogs don't like sour apple scents and taste, so they have little spray cans of sour apple that you spray on things to keep the dogs off. If you don't have dogs, you may not have known that, but it's safe, it's harmless, but it keeps the dogs away. When we're sending light and love to the planet and people, we're sort of using an energetic apple spray that makes it less desirable for the reptilians and all of those who are going against the flow of life. It is making them less powerful. When we fill ourselves with love and light and others as well, it makes them less desirable, and it makes their energy not helpful to the reptilians. So the more you can be in your own power, the more you can be in your own love and light. Not only are you not desirable to the reptilians and their team, you also become more aware of the power that you carry, the abilities that you have. When Jesus said that anything that he did, we could do these and greater still. We're nowhere close to walking on water, to raising the dead, to turning water into wine, because we haven't created the belief system that we're capable of. And yet that's part of that programming, the long game that the reptilians have put into place. And I think a person who's been talking about it for a long time and received a huge amount of recrimination because of it is our little friend. What's his name? I forget his name. The guy from England that stayed with us.
Oh, your friend?
Somebody come. Well, he's not my friend, but he stayed with us.
Is it
What's his
David
name?
Mikey?
David Icke.
Yeah, David Icke. David Icke. Yeah. But he's been talking about the reptilians for a long time. But he takes them in isolation. Everybody's talking about the cabal as something different, and the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and the Rothschilds, and they've all broken these pieces down. So people are talking about different components, but they're not seeing it at all levels of the same operation. But the core is the reptilians. They have created and sustained this mass amount of negative energy on the planet through the use of all these people. The wars. I mean, what better way of screwing up a planet is just keep them all fighting each other. And meanwhile, the companies that are creating the bombs and the bullets are making a fortune. And so they're all part of that same process. I'm going to take a breath because I see a couple questions, and Stacy's asked me to define the reptilians. Well, how would you define humanity? Reptilians are just another life form. We have been very myopic on this planet and egocentric and said, we're the only living creature with the sentient and stuff, which is a bunch of hooey, as I've said many times. We have over 52 kinds of different breeds or genres of alien life form. We're all a different life form originally that came in and are human in order to play this game. And so with this, the reptilians are a breed, like the Klingons in Star Trek. They're a breed that have very reptilian ish features, but they can shapeshift. So when I was doing the campaign in 96 to 2000, literally one of the candidates shapeshifted in front of me. I mean, I don't know what, it was just my head. I'm sure it was just in my head, but saw him in his reptilian form. And when I'm, 20 years ago, when I'm given this information, it's like, what do you do with it? Okay. So he's a little weird. And you can go on YouTube and you can see a lot of the different people who have shifted on camera, and you see them with their eyes changing and their things when they start losing their balance. And the energy is how they lose their balance. And we're sending out love and light. We're literally disrupting their status quo. And that's why we're here. And so when you are in your own place of crazies, when you're on your own place of judgment, when your own place of fear, and when your own place of worry, you're literally lowering your vibration. So you become a reptile sustainer. So that's the war we're on. It's a vibrational war between good and evil that we're here and we're engaged in every moment of every day. I'm going to
Real quick,
pause.
I want to just add too about the reptilian that nobody can affect you unless you give permission. So if you rewatch this from the beginning, I do recommend it. You always ask for protection, guidance, and to know truth. that if you protect yourself, mom talks about the cosmic condom, and you bubble yourself, nothing can get in that unless you've agreed to it on some level. And so that's also the power of your thoughts. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you because it can't affect you unless you've agreed to it or unless it is for your highest best good, and you need that experience in order to grow from. So you'll have negative experiences that serve your lessons, and so it has to serve you, because the power, when we have agreed to serve, it's like being in the military. Our commanders, our superior officers can give us orders that we may not enjoy. And the same thing, when we agree to serve the light and we ask for help, they can give us experiences that will help us in the long run. But in the first moment, it's not going to be so much fun.
And that's why I
Okay.
say you agree on some level. So it doesn't have to be a conscious level. It can be, yes, I totally agree with that. And some of us have to go through that so we can see it and understand it and teach it and help others. So 100%. So just remember that
Okay, because I'm going to say sorry for one more thing. We also are here to influence all those around us. So each of us have, and I use the word pod because I don't have a better language for it, but each of us are in the center of a pod that we're influencing. And so just as the reptiles are taking and increasing their influence through exposure, so are we. So as we're out talking to other people, as we're out moving and just vibrationally being our positive self, we are making a difference with everyone else, because energy affects energy. So if I had two pianos in this room and I hit a middle C in one piano, scientifically, we would know the middle C on the other piano would resonate. We'd see it. We could measure it. The same thing with us. When we vibrate to love and we go out in the world, every other person we meet also is going to feel that vibration and resonate to it or react to it in some level, consciously or unconsciously. So it's not that we have to do anything. It's about being that vibration. We're a love tuning fork at our highest level, which is why the last chapter of Many Were Called is all about how to raise your vibration. And it's more important now than it was when I wrote it 30 years ago, because I get it. It's like, oh, shoot, I get that now. All right, now, Stacy, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
there's a piece of
Any-
chocolate.
Okay.
There's just a lot of people say, I feel that, yes. And then my subconscious is connecting with my conscious. And mom, actually, speaking of conscious, if you're learning about conscious, mom also has perfect power and consciousness, seeking the truth through the subconscious and superconscious mind, which is also a pretty awesome book. Okay.
Because what happens as you're moving through the vibrational shifts, the physical body has to change, the mind has to change. And so the awakening the divine consciousness also tells the process. And oftentimes as we begin to feel these changes in our body, we go, oh my God, I got a headache. Let me take a pill. And that stops the transformation. So you have to understand the energetic shift that's going on in order not to interfere with it. And when we say, oh my gosh, I'm losing my memory, I need to take some pills, I need to do something or other. But losing your memory is part of the evolution of the mind. It's actually a good thing, because we're being forced to learn how to live in the now. Memory held us to yesterday. When we live in the past, it's when we get all the depression and all the sadness and all the other kinds of things. When we live in the moment, none of those things can bother us. So, but understanding the transformation physically, mentally, spiritually is extremely important for supporting the process. So every one of my books tells another piece of the puzzle.
This one is what you mentioned, is just so you can see it, is Dimensions and the Awakening of the Divine Consciousness, understanding Earth's journey from third to fifth dimension. So that's the other book you just mentioned. Go ahead.
I'm sticking to it. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Because I'm here to answer your questions. What about that do you need more information on? Do you need to understand? Because there's a little bit. It's 7:40 now, so it's almost 8 o'clock. That's 2 hours. So we may save till next week the consequences if we don't aren't successful, although we absolutely must be successful because it's divine plan. So of course we're going to be successful. But I want to share a little bit about what you can do. We'll do it briefly now. Next week we'll do it longer because you can make a difference. And again, it's like I've known all this stuff, but I didn't put it together in the same way that I got it this week. So some of you may be the same thing. You know, she's been saying this for 100 years. Why is this new? But it's like, I got it. You know, this is the holy war. This is it. This is what we've come to do. But I kept waiting for some, you know, let's go pick it. Let's go, you know, do something, even though I've always been told that love is the most powerful thing. So what can you do to help? And this is both in the political front right now going on, as well as the bigger picture of rescuing the planet. And really, you are here to save a planet. And these are going to seem duh, but they're very, very, very important and powerful. The first is to be yourself, your biggest and best self. Don't play small. You know, if you are walking on this planet as an equal to Jesus, you are beginning to claim your power. And unless you think you can do it, you can't do it. You know, that little engine that we learned about in elementary school. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. You better damn well know you can. You're here to change a planet. And you do that through the ripple that you put out through your love and light. So be yourself, be your best self every single day. And then begin to stretch yourself. And I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to be doing this, but I'm definitely going to be doing it to begin to use the power of who you are, to use the abilities that you have innately. You don't have to take a class. You don't have to read a book if you believe it. But most of us, unfortunately, trust everything but ourselves. You know, when we're doing a lot of the workshops that I have done, you know, with the remote viewing, being able to move our consciousness outside our body, those are things that we've always been able to do, but we forget and we believe all that crap that we get. Well, you're only human. Well, what can one person do? Well, you know, begin to recognize you are all powerful. You are a little godlet that can do everything. You are not God. God is everything. You are segmentation of God. You're a snippet of God. I lovingly call you a godlet. You're a piece of that divine. And as we come together in unity in the fifth dimension, we begin to live that from that God source, which is very powerful. Every day, you can open your heart to love a bit more and to remember to ask for divine guidance, to ask for divine protection, to ask for truth. Every day is a new day by design. You don't bring anything into the new day from yesterday unless you do it through your thoughts or actions or deeds. So it's a really great habit to get into, is when you brush your teeth and doing your morning hygiene practices, protection, guidance, and truth. Mirror, putting a little reminder on your mirror, doing whatever you want to do on your car when you get in your car to go to work, protection, guidance, and truth. And you can see it, you can say it, you can know it. Doesn't matter how you bring it in, you just bring it in from choice. Eventually your energy will be so strong that nothing and no one can penetrate it. But until you're confident you're at that level, it's always safe to ask. And I can feel when someone's tugging at my energy or when someone's thoughts are coming to me that are not mine. I can feel that. So I'm kind of in that safe zone, but still every day, protection, guidance, and truth, because it's a great habit to be in. Again, asking for help. We have so many team members in the other world who can help us, who can assist us, but they are also bound by the laws of free will. They can't do anything unless we ask for help. So asking for help, you know, just putting it open in the morning and add it to your hygiene, you know, just again, ask to assist me as I move through this. When you're going through tough situations, when you're going through challenging times, when something is bringing your energy down, ask for help for keeping it up, whatever you need to do. But just ask for help. They can help as much as you allow them when you ask. And just as Stacy was saying too, with everybody has to follow the laws of the universe. The more you know those, the better off you are. But those on the other side, those who are wanting to influence and impact humanity, have to tell you what their plans are. They can't do it without your permission. So if I tell you, I'm going to chop your head off and you don't do anything to stop me, then you've given me permission to chop your head off. And so in the universal eyes, you're good. I'm good. I can chop your head off with no repercussions, maybe with karma. But anyway, so if you see one of the, I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch the news. But when you're watching the news and you can see and feel them building fear, trying to create fear in you, or to create dissension among humanity, or they're giving some devil symbol that whatever, just love them. Just send out this big ball of love that they are operating at that level. And that is the most powerful thing you can do to neutralize. And then again, ask if they're saying, I'm going to chop your head off. You just say, okay, Jesus, don't let them chop my head off. And whatever your beliefs are, Allah, Jesus, God, whatever the term, all that is, angels, whatever your term of preference is, the force is all one. There's just different words to describe it. So don't get hung up on who you ask and whatever, but just put it out there. Don't let this become a reality. Help me, help the earth, whatever. When you see politicians doing things that are absolutely insane for the well-being of this planet, then again, bless them and love them. And, I've reinforced our border crossing lots and lots of times with love, so at least these people who are flooding our borders are coming through a wall of love. I can do that because it's my country. I can't do this to Chile because Chile's not my country. But any place you have a vested interest in, you also have the power to influence and take action. So be aware. I know we get people from 4 or 5 different countries on these calls. I can't impact Brazil other than a universal generic way, but I can certainly make a difference in the US. And in my living room right now, if you go down there, I've got those
little mini capitals, little mini White
yeah,
House.
but with that company that makes all the miniatures, I forget what it is, but anyway, I've got the Capitol and the Pentagon and the White House and the Lincoln Memorial and the Jefferson Memorial, and I've got all of these building replicas, and every day I send them love and light and fill them with love and light because they're mine. They belong to me as well as lots of other people, and so I have the right to fill in with love and light. And so take that action. It's in light and love daily. You literally fill yourself with light and love. And loving ourselves is oftentimes the most difficult because we see our own flaws with a magnifying glass. And so, but recognize that when you are sending yourself love, filling yourself love, breathing love in and through you and into the earth, and you're filling everyone around, especially those people who are teaching you things. We don't always love our teachers. The more you're filling yourself and others with that love and light, you're tainting their reptilian food supply. So it's very important. The more happy and joyful you are, the more you can laugh and sing and dance and play. Again, that's the antidote to this very deep, dark energy. Just continuing. As I said, when we come together, the energy is more powerful than when we do this on our own. So the more you can come together and create this synergetic experience to send out, then yay. And so create your own little group. It doesn't have to be a huge group, 2 or more, but do it on a regular basis to energetically create this little squadron of love and light beings. And then I was told a long time ago, and it didn't make sense then, but about information hubs, that there'll become a time on the planet where information will be hard to get out. Well, now I got it. I can understand how that's happening because we've seen such a shutdown of information, of accurate information, just in this past year. And so these information hubs are exceedingly important. I have one created with the people who come to the Thursday night groups. I'm going to start sending it out, creating another information hub for the spiritual groups. And if you'd like to be on my informational hub, just send me your information. You can put it in the chat or just email it to me. But even if you do 5 or 10 people, think about those phone chains that when you were in elementary school, where there was signed, I call so and so and tell them, they'll call 2 people and tell them, and the phone, pretty soon, in just a matter of a little bit, you've got everybody in the school notified of bad weather or whatever. Remember, I'm from the Midwest. We had those phone chains to say when school was canceled. But creating your own hub, and I would recommend at least 2 different formats for it. It might be through email and Instagram, or email and YouTube, or no, YouTube doesn't do individual, but you can do phone and messenger, or just a message kind of thing. But whatever you do, create your own little.
A lot
Okay,
of
you're
people.
muted.
Okay. A
Love
lot
it,
of
what-
people. Signal's one that you could use. Mom's not the techiest of people.
I've got a list of new media that I'm going to get on. I'm BitChute. Took me a bit of while. Technology is not my strong point. I have a lot of strong points, but that's not one of them. But
Got it. We're good because we're ready to get here. So thank you.
yeah,
Telegram.
Telegram. I've made a list.
Okay,
I'm so
Mom.
efficient.
Mom, go back to your message.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if you do this is my mom. Mom, for reals. It's okay. We don't need a list. We got it. We good. We
No,
got
it's in my brain.
Messenger. Yes.
No, the new ones, because they were shutting down Twitter and all those kinds of things. So anyway, but all the new medias that are coming up to balance out the ones that are being shut down. And so getting your list, maybe 10 people. I know Josie and Jennifer both get my messages I sent out, but pieces of information that's not being told on regular media. And you don't have to prove it to be correct or true. That's up to individuals. Just because someone send me something doesn't mean I accept it as true. That always goes through my filter first. How do I feel about it? So my job is not to ensure everything is truth. That's up to individuals. I want to teach you how to make sure it's truth for you, but to get the information out. And that if let's say I send to 10 people and those people all have at least 10 more people they send it out, think of how quickly we could get information out. And it's going to become harder and harder to get information out. So it's really important to get these information hubs. When I first was told about these information hubs, and again, a long time ago, I was told they were going to be run by little old women with white hair. And I thought, oh, isn't that sweet? These little geriatric women. It's like, now I am one. I never envisioned myself in that role when they were telling me about this process. And the only place you can tell what they said then is the only place that'll be safe to tell something you don't want people to hear, if you don't want it to be heard, and is in the woods. That the trees cannot be penetrated yet. That all of these vibrations, all of these signals for surveillance cannot penetrate a tree. And so, and I was talking to, when I was running for president, I talked to a man who was very high up in military intelligence. And I asked him that. He looked at me and he said, how do you know that? And I said, well, it doesn't matter how I know it. Is it true? And he said, yes, but not many people know that. And I said, well, I know that. And so why when they're putting up these 5G towers, which are long-term designed to control you, they first chop down all the trees in their line of traffic, and they're cutting down trees like crazy. And trees are one of the most protective forces on the planet. So we have to protect our trees, plant trees, really recognize that they're a very important role. Um, and again, we could go on forever, but it's 4 minutes till 8, which is 2 hours, and I think that's for our little chat. That's plenty of time. That's the key things. We'll go through some more of this next week because there's lots more. I wanted to get the basics out. But so now let's just open up for questions or comments or reactions. Anyone? Stacy, are you going to share something?
So we just got one comment about Russell Brand's also doing a lot of work of bringing attention to a lot of what you're talking about as well.
Yes, I like Russell Brand. Russell Brand is a perfect example of someone who's garnered his team through his comedy, and now is going to things that are very significant and helping influence a great population. I've watched a lot of Russell Brand's clips, and I've yet to find something I didn't agree with, which is very unusual. Pretty much everybody else I listen to is like, okay, go 9 of that 10 points I got. The one I'm not too sure of. But Russell Brand thus far, I've found him to be very accurate without being fear-based, which I think is very important as well.
And he uses comedy, which I always enjoy because he's a brilliant.
On these, yeah, he's a great comedian, but on these clips, he doesn't use a lot of comedy. He's satirical. He's got a lot of unusual points. But it was kind of interesting too that when I was in California visiting Stacy at one point, we went to a comedy store and Russell Brand just happened to be there trying out his material.
We knew he was there because my friend told me. That's how we went.
Well, but he wasn't scheduled to be there. We heard through the grapevine he was going to be there, so we went there. Let me tell my story. Don't tell my story. Okay, yeah. It's the point that he's there testing out his material, that we got to experience him in live, which was amazing, and he's got tremendous energy. So again, very, very powerful. And he also doesn't drink and doesn't use drugs anymore, which at one point he did. And he talks about how important his body and his vibration is to his work. So again, I do recommend you listen to him if you haven't. He's interesting. All right. Anybody else? Anything else you want to?
Jennifer, did you want to ask any questions? If you have any questions, now's the time to put your questions in.
You're muted, Jennifer.
No, I don't have a question right now.
Comment or reaction?
Yeah, it's all been sinking in for a while now. I think so. Just to recap and to hear it again is always great. But I've been with you for so long now.
Well, and I always thought, okay, it's coming. What we do is coming. It's coming. And all of a sudden to go, oh, this is it. This is our journey. I didn't recognize that. So, yeah, that was, and then being shown all the pieces and how they fit together. I'm going to read that first paragraph just again to let it sink in. We came to this planet to engage in the biggest holy war that has ever been fought. We won't be using bullets and bombs and on an easily recognized battlefield. Rather, it is being fought today and every day in our living room as we sit in front of the TV, in our cars as we drive, in the privacy of our bedrooms and boardrooms. We are in the midst of an energetic war, and humanity and Earth's survival depends on the outcome. And this is that battle foretold by many of good versus evil. So,
well, and to me, it is. We're in a war of consciousness. Do you choose to own your consciousness, or do you give it to someone else to control and manipulate? It's that simple. So what do you choose? Do you choose your light and divine and within, or do you let exterior forces guide you and control you? Because always, if you followed my class, I had diving into your divinity. It's inside you, and your greatest truth is inside of you. You always have that guiding you. So just remember.
And that's so.
Go ahead.
And that's so easy to say, but when you don't have the money to pay your rent on Friday, you kind of get a little shaky in it. That's where it really tests your ability to hang in when you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And if we went through everybody on this call right now, you're all in transition. You're moving houses, you're moving jobs, you're moving this, you're moving that. Transition is the key word for everything going on the planet right now. And are you okay in that place of not knowing? That's the true test of how you're doing on the battlefield. Are you still in trust? Are you still in safety and knowing that everything is in divine order?
And it's, yes, totally true. And someone talk about here too, they're having flashes of the battlefield. And, you know, we've done this so many times that we've had so many practice lifetimes that this is pretty much we've been preparing for our entire lifetimes of dropping into.
But we have had one planet rescue that we did and we failed and the planet was destroyed, and so we have that residue of knowing too, and we question our ability, and so don't question your ability, just know that the universe has your back. Step out in bravery.
There is a question. I'm not sure I totally understand it, but we'll totally ask it. But yes, to what you just said. Okay, so I'm at a moment of realization of the roles we play all the time and how those roles are the base of the division. What suggestion on the subject?
Stacy, is that dog at your house or is it?
Yeah.
I'm hearing like somebody's stomach growling really loud.
It's the dog.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So I'm at the moment.
I completely lost. I'm at the moment. Okay.
A realization of the roles we play all the time and how those roles are the base of the division. What suggestion on the subject do you have? Gina.
All right. It sounds like a stomach rolling. It's kind of an interesting sound. First of all, if you recognize the roles that you're playing that's causing the division, stop playing the role. Go back to the point of consciousness that you are, and we're all points of consciousness. Focus on what we share, how we're together, and that if someone is irritating your point of consciousness, love them. They're your teachers. That's what we do. It is the challenges that we face that cause us to grow and become stronger. So if you recognize what's dividing you, then flip it over like a pancake and utilize what creates the unity, the oneness, because it's all a choice. And recognize that everything you put on as far as your costume for this lifetime was a choice and was there to serve you. But if any part of it doesn't serve you, you can be free to choose again.
And I think that's also really good about attachments too, which it's letting go of the attachments to what you were yesterday and just be in the flow of today. I'm also in transition. I've talked about it on here, is that I've lived in my house for 11 years and it just sold. And so I'm kind of forced to be leaving. And it is very shaky in so many ways, but learning, I really have a good coach, my mom, who also does privates. It's been a transition, but I do my best every day. I cry on the reg, which is perfect. If it comes in, I allow it to feel. I don't hold on to it. I just experience it. What is this serving me? What is this teaching me? How am I growing? How am I learning? And then celebrating the moments where you can show up for yourself, where you speak your truth, celebrating the moments that you kept your calm when you in the past might have not, right? It's allowing things to be in the flow, but then choosing to do it with love, choosing to dance, choosing to play music that puts you in the great place. For me, whenever I'm in that crazy place, the top 3 things are always just to breathe, starting with breath, focus in that. The deeper your breath, the stronger your life force energy. To be gratitude, grateful. And that kind of was one of the faster ways to change that negative vibe, is just being in all the things that you're so appreciative of. And that usually can take within 2 minutes of just that, poof, your brain's gone. But also look at the question, what is this bringing me? If you are in control of everything, at some level, some reason, somehow, you're bringing this in. What is this showing you? And I think we're being tested on our true beliefs. Do you really believe the divine? Do you really believe the universe has your back? Do you really believe and have faith? Because it's like Jesus when he would get his followers, do you want to leave all that you have to come with us? And a lot of the rich people would be like, oh no, I don't want to leave what I have. to do this. And it's like, that's kind of what we're being asked to do. Are you ready to step up and to be in faith of the divine force and letting things happen? And it's scary and it's fun at the same time. It's all perfect. So know that there's no.
I'm going to add one difference, a correction to what you said, because we created all of this. Yes and no. As light workers, we signed up for a job, just like if we signed up for the Army. With that, there were some things that we're experiencing because of our assignment that we may not have created. It wasn't from faulty thinking. It was because we needed to have this experience to help or influence who we came in for. So it could be, you may go through bankruptcy, not because of stupid decisions, not because you call it in, but because you need that, because you're going to be out and your message is going to be on X, Y, and Z. And if you look at most of the people who do financial advice and do those things have all gone through lots of poverty. Napoleon Hill is the most known for making the most millionaires than anybody on the planet. And he went through total poverty 2 or 3 times. And he would just get up and it made him learn the lessons that much more. So just recognize that everything in your life is intentional. Some has been because of choices and things that you've taken, but sometimes it's because of the assignment you've accepted on this planet. Just like in joining the Army, you don't get to decide what you're going to wear. You don't decide when you're going to get up or what you're going to eat. Those things were given to you when you signed up. And the same thing with becoming an earth-based volunteer, that there are some things that are happening that wasn't exactly in your control, but it's intentional.
And
Anybody?
We're told this is all a test, and I like to say it's all a game. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play. It's do you show up with love and kindness? Do you have compassion? Do you have empathy, or do you have hate? Do you have judgment, right? There's only one way you serve, and that's either the divine light or the negative influences. And so it's how you show up each day in your game. Go.
Well, and I see it as like the Super Bowl, that when you see these two teams, two big old massive strong teams coming on the field, the playing field, and their job is to knock each other down and get a pointed ball over these two sticks. To me, it's like a stupid game. That's judgment, sorry. But nonetheless, people take it really seriously and they bash each other and they work all year long to be able to have the honor of playing in this battle of who's going to be the strongest team. And without the opposition, if there was just one team, it wouldn't be any fun. So we've come in our own Super Bowl to try and out-strategize, outwit, outjoy, outlove those who are trying to keep us from getting our pointed ball over the sticks. Okay. Anybody on screen that wants to say or add or anything? Comments are appreciated. Just unmute yourself, because otherwise I can't hear anything. Mayfer, you want to add anything? LD, you want to add anything? Lindsay, you want to add anything? Anybody want to add anything? Anything online?
You can also wait, right? Like if you wave, I can unmute you. Or you'd have to accept the unmute, but yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 8:09. I'm going to read this because I think it's a really powerful statement. To recommit yourself between. Did you want to say something, Lindsay?
I have
Okay.
to go, but I wanted to say
Okay.
hi. I'm glad I got to get
Nice
on
seeing you.
today. Nice to see you too. Bye, Stacy. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nina,
And
this is your first time joining us live. Do you want to say anything real quick?
I'll say hello. I'll say that I'm tired because I worked 8 hours on the phones today at my job that I get paid for. I'll say that I'm 73 years old. I'll say that I think I planned this life really well because I was in a cult for 10 years, which I think gave me a real
Oh,
sense
wow.
of what freedom is and what standing up for your truth versus not standing up for your truth is. And I'll say that I'm about to be a grandmother for the 3rd time this weekend, and I didn't even birth any children myself. So I figure I must be living right.
That's the way to do it. Sometime you'll have to
Apparently
share
that's what I
some of your
thought.
experiences.
What?
I said
And
you'll have to share with us some of your experiences with the cult sometime, because I think that's part of the we're being lulled into a what some people are calling a sheeple mind, and that's really what cults do, is they lull you in. So
Right. That's
you have a
that's
very
true.
important message to share. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
you have an
thank you,
important
and thank
message
you
to
for what
share.
you're doing. I'm still very curious about your connection with Dolores Cannon.
Oh,
Hey,
well, since we're moving late, I'll join us another time and we can talk about it. But she was a friend. I consider her a friend of mine. Very special, important lady.
Yes.
and from you also spoke a lot with her. You guys shared the stage in many times in many places. Correct.
Yes.
Mom doesn't always talk about that stuff, but yes, she shared the stage with lots of people that you will know in many forms and many fashions. So
Okay. Well, thank you for what you're doing.
Which in itself taught me a lot. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. It's my job. You get paid to talk on the phone, and I get my spiritual kudos for doing this. But I get
feel
my
like I'm
orders, and I do
definitely,
my best to show up and suit up and do what I think.
I also definitely feel like I'm being trained to be, I keep feeling like I'm being trained to go into war, like I'm being trained to be ready, get all the details, be able to act fast, I just feel like I'm in some kind of training.
yeah. I feel Mom.
Exactly. And we'll finish the story next week, because there's still so much to do, and we'll answer any questions that come up and go over again what you can do to make a difference. But just again, suit up, show up with a willing and loving heart. And I'm going to end, and Stacy, we're going to end when I read this passage for the third time. So anybody have anything they want to say before?
Jennifer, do you want me to read your comment? You want to read it? You read it.
When Dr. Heather, I forgot, and then it just came to me that in the beginning, when you were bringing us, we were playing with the light, sending out the love, and you said something about light, and then I started hearing that song, "You Light Up My Life," and it just kept playing in my head.
There's a lot of songs out there that have very spiritual connotations if you listen to them. But
Prince is almost all of them too. But she put in there when you were doing your thing, she said, "You light up my life," which I loved.
It's a song. Yes, it's a lovely song. And I can only sing for fun stuff, because I don't do it on key. If I'd have been given any musical ability in this life at all, I would have just done music. So I was blocked. I don't remember the words. I can't hit the tunes. I just have fun. I make the joyful noise. All right, for the last time, I'm going to read this, let it sink in. This week, you get to reflect on it and think about what your role in this process is and how you can help score teams for the White Hats. We came to this planet to engage in the biggest holy war that has ever been fought. We won't be using bullets and bombs and on an easily recognized battlefield. Rather, it is being fought today and every day in our living rooms as we sit in front of the TV, in our cars as we drive, and in the privacy of our bedrooms and boardrooms. We are in the midst of an energetic war, and humanity and Earth survival depends on the outcome. Again, every intention, every action, every word, every thought, all of those things that affects your vibration, your frequency, which in turn affects your dimension and state of health of the planet. So have fun this week. Be joyful, sing, dance, play. Don't be afraid to step out of your adult role and recapture your child, and just enjoy your experience.
Bless, loads of love. If you did miss the beginning, I do recommend listening, because that's my favorite part of what we do when we gather, is sending love. So thank you for being here on this planet.
And on Sunday night, we do the politics and spirituality So we talk a little bit more about politics and how we're affecting that. And Stacy can show up the number for that. And then, as I said, for anybody who's read any of my books and you want to leave a review, if you send me a copy of the review on Amazon, I will give you a free session. So I want to
And-
make sure.
You said free 30-minute session. And just so you know, too, with her session, she does kind of do anything and everything, whether you want to get into your Akashic records or she just accesses all the information. She doesn't label it. She calls them privates because of many reasons. But she's the most powerful person I've ever worked with in my. And then also, Esme wants to know, when is your judgment book ready? She wants that.
Actually, it should be out already. I just talked to the fellow who's putting them up online today, and it should be up anytime. I don't know. I will let you know when I know. But it's all done. Everything's complete. It's going up. My next project is going to be redoing the revision of Many Were Called to add this last section, because I think that's why it's just not come out yet. I needed this last piece and I didn't understand it in order to be able to put it coherently in the book. So we'll be doing that. Send me love.
Yeah. And thank you
Okay.
again, every one of you, because it's together we ship the entire planet with ease and grace. So thank you for shining, radiating, being your full, amazing, magnetic self, because you are a divine being, and it's an honor to be here with each of you. Okay. And if you want to if you can order any of the books at heatherharder.com. You can also get some on Amazon, but I do recommend sometimes checking with Heather first, because I've had other people sell Mom's book for twice the price. So that's all. Okay. I love you all. Thank you so much. It's been a joy.
Good night. Thank
Love
you.
Night.
Thank you for joining us.
Love you. Love, love, love.
Love you.